music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat
Minute! Greetings, citizens of Gotham, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that investigates Tim Burton's Batman 1 minute at a time, all the while struggling to decide, are we bat, penguin, or cat groupies? I don't know, all of the above probably for me. I am one of your hosts, John Parker.
And I am the other host who is not torn. I am hardcore penguin out of those three animals. Penguin groupie all the way. Niall McGowan.
And I'm the guest co-host this week, and my name is Johnie Powers, and I'm with the Austin Powers Minute. I'm 100% cat groupie.
Hey!
The bat's getting no love over here.
Which is in fitting with the way Tim Burton does his Batman movies.
Yeah, I guess so. Actually, yeah, it ties in perfectly.
Even Tim Burton doesn't care that much about Batman.
I think, again, actually, this minute is the second time. This is 41 minutes in. This is the second time we've seen Batman in Batman Returns. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's it's not good if you are a bat groupie, let me tell you. But yes, welcome to minute 41 of Batman Returns. The minute starts with some more street cruising, and it ends with some graveyard perusing.
It could have been worked into one of the outros, that, John. It's like,
I've let you down.
It's like, I'll just cut that out and then I'll steal it for later on.
You are the editor, and I don't listen back to the show, so I wouldn't know.
Like, you never, as far as you know, you come off as a complete idiot in the show.
I'm a bit like Alex Robinson. I don't want to listen to myself. It's weird.
I become like really fast, like overly distracted by the sound quality and stuff now. So like when it's aired, I'll download it to see how it sounds through the phone and stuff, and like I get really way too into it when at the end of the day, I guess no one actually really cares how it sounds as long as it's audible. So
I just wait for somebody to tell me if it's crap, and then I fix it.
Yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it, because we had a cut this bit out now. We had a sound issue with Zencaster for a while, and I hated it. Like I could hear it nonstop. So I asked people, like I asked Neil Brown, because I know he listens to every one of them. I was like, did you notice the sound problem? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? And to me, it was the most audible thing. And he was just like, no, I've been listening all week. I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, I think it's just us. But anyway, so yes, we are back here with the Bat, cruising the streets. And he reveals to Alfred that he thinks the Penguin already knows who his parents are. He thinks he's here for something else.
I do wonder if this is like almost like detective intuition then, because he just says like, I think he knows who his parents are. There's something else. And it's like I love the mystery of that. I love the atmosphere of like, yeah, there's something weird's going on here.
I think it just feels off, doesn't it? It doesn't feel right. It's peculiar. Let's be honest.
Maybe he's the only person to objectively look at. Wait a minute. So a trapeze clown stole the mayor's baby, jumped into a sewer, and then this guy, who everyone just a day ago was convinced was the leader of this terrorist clown circus gang, rescued the baby from a guy who was in that gang. And now he wants access to all the city's birth certificates.
I mean, the police officers obviously have no idea what's happening. No. They're very bad at their jobs.
Oh, I think that, what we saw of Gordon earlier, he is completely just given up his job to just like, yep, Batman's doing it for me. It's like as soon as anything happened, he was like, what are you waiting for? Get the signal. It was like, yeah. So the police now have just been like, yeah, so like, hey, you want to do our job for us? By all means. It's up to you, Batty.
Yeah, well, the Batmobile then, it pulls up outside the Hall of Records, and Batman, he takes a sneaky look at what the Penguin's up to through the window. But now my first question was, it is kind of creepy. But the only thing that I thought of was like, how the hell do you sneak up on someone in the Batmobile? It's not the most stealthy of vehicles.
To be fair, though, because my original thoughts was like, this must be the most boring day ever for Oswald Cobblepot, because all he's doing is just looking at names, writing ones down, going through certificates, finding a name that correlates, I guess, with a date or whatever, so he can find like this is the firstborn or whatever, and then writing it down. And this is like having to sit there in a hall of records. There's no, if this were me, I'd have to take breaks. I'd have to have something on in the background. This is prime, like, oh yeah, have a podcast on or something. But I guess he's just sitting in silence, unless. We don't know. We don't get that good a look at him. Maybe he's got like headphones in. He's actually listening to something. And it's just like,
what would he be listening to if he was listening to something?
I said, well, yeah. What kind of music would the Penguin be into? Is the question. That's the issue of this episode.
I want it to be something completely unexpected, like trip hop.
I just like imagine look at the thematically tie into the Penguin. Because be like Born This Way or something. Lady Gaga would be a good one for him.
Yes.
It'd be like, November Spawned a Monster by Morrissey. And he's just sitting there, one November spawned a monster in the shape of this jar.
My life won't be complete unless I attend a drag show where someone is dressed as the Penguin dancing to Born This Way. that would make my world. I've been someone. You. This has to happen. You have to do this now. I could do that. That would be fine. I wouldn't mind.
You have to have like the wig is bald on top, but like the straggly hair at the back is like really curled up and looking fabulous and stuff. So it's like that's and then like all the eye makeup is like really perfectly done and stuff.
I could imagine the drag queen Abora doing this. That would be fantastic. Abora, please listen to the show and please do this.
That's it. Like she can hear from through, just like crying out into the world, Abora! And she's just sitting there like, what? She's just much like Bruce Wayne in his cavernous mansion, just like in her leather chair, going, what was that?
An evil, wicked kind of bat signal in the shape of Abora's crooked face shines in the sky. Yes.
That's the thing. Like, what was the other? It's a Batman. He doesn't strike me as a music lover. Again, too, I know in the comics he has that infamous panel. What do you call it again? It was like Batman. It was like Fortunate Son or something. You find out that Batman hates punk. He really hates punk music. It's all like
right. I've gone off Batman now. No.
He has some thing where like Robin's talking to him about punk, and he's just like, punk is the roar of a dying animal or something like that. He really hates punk music for some reason.
You've let me down, man. I'm a punk rocker. You can't say this.
I'm trying to think of. He would probably listen to like really deep conspiracy theory podcasts.
Oh my god, with Jesse Ventura and things.
Maybe that's his idol. I was like, I need to be built like Jesse Ventura and clever and see through all the lies. Maybe that's why he's so suspicious of the Penguins. Like, Jesse Ventura wouldn't buy this for a second.
Yes.
But I can imagine, I guess with music, I would go like, maybe Bruce would be like a jazz guy, but then that's too chaotic as well. It's all over the place.
Yeah, do you think he would go for rock? I mean, if he did go for anything rock, so it would have to be just like a classic rock kind of a thing. I couldn't imagine him being too crazy and obscure.
You can, much like the Will Arnett one, where he's just listening to like death metal and stuff. But like, yeah, this doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. No. This particular iteration of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, even Tim Burton's Bruce Wayne wouldn't sit listening to The Cure.
Yeah.
Even though it's on brand.
yeah. If it's Tim, and Tim puts a lot of himself in this, but no, it doesn't work, I don't think.
No. Although again, like, you'd have to ask with like because of the split in Selena's personality. Do you think like she had been listening to really girly stuff? Like sort of a very perky pop Cyndi Lauper kind of material, or was she always secretly listening to like Susie Sue and stuff when she was back home?
I think the latter. I think she was. Yeah, she had like a. I don't want to say a dark side, but you know what I mean. Like it was hidden. Like on the surface, she's nice, she's cutesy maybe, and a little bit of a dork, but they're the prime people to be into Susie Sue and stuff. Like me.
I can imagine it, for some reason popped in my head would have been like the bangles. I can imagine because like the bangles are kind of cool, but then they're also very poppy as well. Plus they have like walk like an Egyptian. Egyptians were all into cats, weren't they? So like there you go, that ties in. Manic Monday. I can imagine Selena Kyle really getting into Manic Monday. That would be the kind of song she'd love.
I could see that.
Plus written by Prince, so ties directly into friggin' Batman as well. So 100%. Selena Kyle confirmed Bangles fan in my personal head canon. But so we do get the penguin sitting there, just tearing away there with that giant ostrich feather or quill, and everything about this is like this is such an arduous task. Because even later on, he's still doing this. When you see him at his campaign, or what becomes his campaign headquarters later on, he's still sitting friggin' sketching out all these damn names.
Yeah, there must be a lot of names to be putting on that list.
It honestly just looks like the shot of him in the window reminds me of like a typical like Scrooge shot.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And when he's sat doing his, what is he doing? He's doing like the ledger.
He's doing like accounting ledgers and stuff. Yeah. Especially because it's like snowing out and everything, and it's a quill. It's like super old school.
I am surprised actually there wasn't like Tim Burton's A Christmas Carol.
Oh, totally. Actually, maybe not nowadays, Tim Burton.
Yeah.
But back then, I would have gone for a Tim Burton Christmas Carol. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, the ghosts would have been terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I just imagine it though now, like that'd be ironic though. If, like the penguin was Scrooge, and then like Kermit the Frog approaches him now.
Kermit the Frog. Oh my god.
As we discussed,
an extra lump of coal to put on the fire, sir.
as we discussed when we were on the Christmas vacation days, Niall, the Muppets Christmas Carol is the best Christmas Carol.
Oh, totally, 100%. There's no objections there. Unless Johnny, do you have any objections to?
No, like the Muppets do everything the best.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the Muppets did Batman. They'll be like, all right, well, I guess we're finally getting the best version of Batman coming here.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Sweet Kermie as like Bruce Wayne.
Oh yes.
Stop.
Oh, Miss Piggy is Catwoman. That'd be pretty cool.
in the lycra kind of.
Oh my gosh! And then there's like the little, his nephew could be like Robin.
Oh yeah.
It's like the tiny frog. Oh my
Isn't
God.
the nephew's called Robin as well, isn't he? Or is he? Maybe I'm getting mixed up. I can't remember what you call that kid. Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly Google it just in case, because if it is Robin, then we've missed the trick, and the listeners will be like, "Oh, you idiots! What the hell?
You're fools!"
Let's see, Kermit's nephew, right? Robin the Frog. Yeah.
Is it really? Oh.
Yeah, awesome.
Hell yes.
I guess I don't know. I guess like Fozzie would be the Joker. That makes sense.
Of course.
Gonzo's the Penguin, I guess too, because he's all the birds.
What
and
about
stuff.
Animal?
Oh.
Bane.
Maybe? Yes.
Yeah,
Like-
Animal would be Bane.
And then well, I guess like Beaker would be
The Riddler.
yeah, or could be like the vent. Like, what do you call the? Because Beaker and I can't remember the name of the other guy. They've got,
Benson.
yeah.
Or Bunsen or whatever.
They could be like the ventriloquist in Scarface or something, maybe, or something along those lines. But if you folks would like to write in with their own suggestions for who the Muppets should be in a Batman movie, just come into the listeners' cave. We're more than happy to hear your suggestions. But yeah, then we get the Batmobile takes off, presumably to go home, just to get Alfred off his back, and we cut then to the graveyard, the old boneyard, and hordes of people outside the graveyard here to see what the Penguin's up to.
Oh yeah, I love this because in the strict revised script, there's a great description of this. I just love the wording. It says. A mob of press, morbid curiosity seekers, even some overnight penguin groupies, try to muscle their way into this grand, well-tended boneyard for the rich and expired. Gotham's own forest lawn, and a flying wedge of the city's finest, arms interlocked, keep out the rabble. I was just like, oh, that's grand. I like that.
I will say that though, it's a very small graveyard, but I guess that in that description, it's kind of like, yeah, it's an exclusive graveyard for the rich, I guess.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. So I was gonna say like it's weird at the top of the things, like the top of the walls, the sort of ornaments on either side of the gate, they look like urns. Like, you know, that you put, and I was like, oh, I wonder if it was like maybe the city crematoriums across the street, and there's like a rivalry going on, and like they had these urns out there that kind of mocking things like, you know, crematorium assholes. Like, we don't need you. We just put the urns up on the top of the damn wall. We don't need to actually use them. But then this graveyard's so small, so it's like, well, the crematorium got way more business because you can. It looks like it's already filled to capacity. Like you're not going to get any more people in there.
Yeah, yeah.
It just kind of reminds me of like the exclusivity of like New Orleans graves.
Oh, are they like that?
Because where they're like they're above ground, like mausoleum style, and a whole family owns like one plot, and they've owned it since like the 1800s.
Oh,
and like everybody's buried there, but it's like extra creepy because the way that the whole cemetery is set up, because it's very swampy in Louisiana. They can't bury anyone underground because they'll like float back up if it rains really hard.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's super creepy. It's really creepy. Anyways, they put the body in a lot of them since it's like an 1800 style, and then the body will bake and cremate over time, and then in a year they like push the ashes to the back, and there's like a little like tray that they fall down. It's like crazy.
Oh, that's
so
weird.
I'm thinking like maybe they, I don't know, maybe cremate them and just put them all in the same place because it's so small.
That would make more sense. I guess American graves are always very strange to me anyway, because I always see in TV shows that have like people are literally, it's just like grass and then the tombstone. Whereas over here, it's like you got a full on. You see the soil. There's a little rectangle. There's a full on 6-foot rectangular plot, and you're not supposed. It's always hedged off. You're not supposed to step on the grave because it's disrespectful. Yet you'll always see in movies and stuff. Like in America, it's like they'll just be standing in front of a grave on top of a grassy hill. It's like, well, you're literally standing on where the body is. Is this not like a disrespectful kind of thing? Or
that's like a lot of graveyards are that way. It's just like grassy knolls, and then you like you have to walk on other people's graves to get to the grave that you need to get to.
Okay.
It is disrespectful in my mind, but there's really no way around it. Honestly, the way that they're set up, that they don't have little paths that you can walk on. You just kind of have to.
I've been to some like that here. I think it's getting more like that because now it's quite hard to actually be buried here now. Most people are cremated, largely due to space, because there's no plots of land left to be buried with unless you've got a lot of money.
Yeah,
or unless your family has bought like several plots.
Yeah,
because that's like a weird thing that families do over here. I don't know if it's over there too. They'll buy spaces enough for like X amount of people in the family in a graveyard and just wait till you die. I don't know.
It's so weird. You do get that a little bit. It tends to be older people, like your grandparents might, but nobody's really buying plots now, I don't think.
Nah, I think I would. Like, I've never really thought too much about it, but I think I'd probably just get cremated. Just get them out of the way.
Just throw me in the trash.
Yeah, much like Frank Reynolds himself. Yeah, just throw me in the trash. Because again, what are you doing? Like, harvest the body for organs if it helps people, and then get rid of the rest. Well, yeah, what am I waiting around for? Is it going to be like when Judgment Day comes? It's like, oh, rid of your body, man. So no going back for you. It's like, oh, so I get to just knock around the afterlife, which is what I was doing anyway. Fine. I'm like, cool. I'll just keep doing this then.
It is an interesting thing. Like, do you be buried or do you be cremated? I understand both sides. Like, it's nice to have some remains. It's nice to have something people could come to, maybe. But at the same time, it's disgusting, isn't it? You're going to be eaten.
Yeah. I think if I was going to be buried, though, I always got into the idea in... I know either of you two have watched 6 Feet Under, the acclaimed HBO drama.
I haven't, believe it or not. You think I would have?
Oh, it's great. Terrific show. But yeah, there's one of Nate's girlfriends. Spoilers, one of Nate's girlfriends dies. And she's a real hippy-dippy kind of woman. And it's his job then. She doesn't want to be buried traditionally. So I think she wants to be buried under a tree with no like embalming process. There's like no chemicals and all this kind of business. And then it's treated as this very, very strange, rare thing. But I always thought, like, that seems like it'll be... Because literally she's like, yeah, I want to be... My nutrients will feed into the earth, and then I will be entangled in a tree's roots, and basically I'll be mulched into... But I'll still be part of the planet. I was like, that's a really nice idea. Like, why don't more people do that? But in the show, it's treated as a real, like, oh, no, you wouldn't do that.
There's like a company that you can partner with that they turn you actually into a tree.
Oh.
They cremate you and use your nutrients in the cremation process to be like fertilizer for the tree, and you plant the tree.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
That means like the Judgment Day comes, you come back as like Groot. That'd be great.
Well, yeah. I mean, and if you come back as fruit, your seeds are then you, and the seeds spread. So
you
really,
have an army of you.
You're conquering the globe.
You're trying to... This is John's prequel to Invasion of the Body Snatchers is starting here. I was like, I will get Donald Sutherland someday.
Isn't this somewhat similar? I assume neither of you are going to know what I'm talking about here. Hopefully the listeners do. Isn't this somewhat similar to the plot of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, the movie?
Wow, what a deep cut reference.
I'm sure that's how the villain Sephiroth comes back. Even though he's dead, I think it's because he's in everyone's... Well, not everyone. No, he is everyone, isn't it? He's in everyone's cells through the Genova like thing.
It's going to get like one person on the listener's cable will be like, yes, that is exactly right. But everyone else will be like, what?
It's right. I wouldn't even recommend you watch it, you two, because it's great for people who are obsessed with the game. But as a movie, it makes no sense. Like, if you just watch it as a film, you would not have a clue what is going on.
Is this the Final Fantasy movie then you're talking
about?
No,
it's the Final Fantasy VII movie.
Because I remember there's that
like
one.
20 of everything for Final Fantasy.
Because I just remember there was that one that was like the first fully realistically rendered CGI movie. And
that has nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
Yeah. But like, so it's nothing to do with that movie then? That's
no,
what you're saying.
Nothing at all.
Right.
No, it's a sequel to the game, like one of the best games ever. But if you sat and watched it as a movie, it wouldn't make a lick of sense. It's not structured like a movie. It's not written like a movie. It's pure fan, like, pleasing stuff, you know.
Oh, that's what I'm having to do, though, now, because I guess, in the long run, I lost out in the Xbox versus PlayStation war, because I went for Xbox, and now I don't get to play that new Spider-Man game, so I've had to sit and watch all the cutscenes on YouTube, like some sort of idiot.
Just become one of us.
I've heard, though, because they announced, apparently there's rumors that Rocksteady are currently working on another Batman game, but it's going to be next gen. And when the article said next gen, I was like, oh, you mean like Xbox One and stuff? And they're like, no. The article didn't say this to me. It was read further on.
Yeah, next gen.
They meant that was like Xbox Pyro or whatever it's been called. Like, and the PlayStation 5. And I was like, oh, there's another one coming. Oh, geez, I only just got this one the other year. What the hell?
It's been like 5 years or something now, isn't it?
It's been quite a while, yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't seem like a new generation. I don't know. People just... Xbox One and PS4, they just kind of came out like, here's a new one.
That's no, because I was like, it took a while to get the next gen console, but it was only because of Arkham Knight. That was my whole thing. I was like, I want to play that game, and then I did, and I do use the Xbox, and actually can stream friggin' Amazon Prime and stuff through it. So I get a lot of use out of it. But it's like, this next gen could come, and I'd be like, the hell with that. And then they'll be like, we got a new Batman game.
And you're like, okay, I'll take my money.
100%. I'll be like, I guess I've got like 500 quid just lying around. I really, really don't. But like,
I wish I bloody did. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to talk about this all week. I love this shot of the Penguin, like slowly shuffling along, because I've always appreciated a film that takes its time and lets things breathe. You get a good long shot. That's what she said. But you want to take him in. It tells you a lot about his character. It's these little subtle things I like about his character. You know, the noises he makes, the shuffle, the way he can't walk too well. Like, what are his feet like?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess you imagine he has, like, Kevin Costner in Waterworld feet, where they're web feet.
I forgot about that.
That's the only two things I remember about Waterworld are him having webbed feet, and then that big long sequence where he drinks his own pee. That's 20 years later. It's like, yep, that's all Waterworld was.
Like Bear Grylls, the English TV guy, always drinking his own piss constantly.
But
if you guys don't know who he is, he's a guy who survives out in the wilderness, and he shows you what he does to survive in the woods.
I just feel like he drinks his own pee because it's his own like kink that he likes.
That's what I think, because he does it at the drop of a hat. It's not even like, oh, I've been stranded for 3 days. I need to drink my own piss. No, it's like, oh, I've been stranded for 20 minutes. Better drink my pee.
It's going to turn out then he'll have like his ex-wife or something will release like a tell-all of all the scandal. Like, oh, golden showers, that's all he wanted to do in the bedroom.
Oh, golden grills.
One thing though,
We're getting sued about.
But this shot, one thing is like, oh, Penguin, we find out in a minute, he's got a top hat on, yet he has the umbrella up. It seems like that's going to be a strain in your arm to make sure that the umbrella's above the top hat. And it's not even snowing, so what's going on?
That's the price you pay for fashion, darling.
And also the price he's paying here, obviously the coat's way too big for him because he's a little short guy. So it's dragging behind him. Really reminded me of that scene that we saw in the trailer for Rogue One that was one of the many scenes where you're like, oh, that's a pretty cool shot. Not in the movie. Where we had Director Krennic, where you've seen him walking across some water, and his nice nifty white cape was sort of, he was going through like a swamp or something, and was like, yeah, at the bottom of that cape's getting ruined, dude. You want to take that off before you go outside? What are you doing?
But like capes and cloaks are like menacing.
Yeah, especially when they drag.
It's for the drama.
But then he's going to be walking around the rest of the day. It was like, oh, I've got all this, muddy water at the bottom of the cape. This is terrible.
That adds to his aesthetic, though. I mean, he's in those filthy clothes. What even are those clothes? Are they like long johns? I don't know.
I mean, the Penguin and the
the Penguin, not Krennic.
Oh. Although we'll say though, Krennic, I can't remember if we mentioned it, but I guess it would be appropriate to say that because Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn, who the character of Max Schreck inspired in the animated series the character of Roland Daggett, who inspired the character of John Daggett, who was played by Ben Mendelsohn in The Dark Knight Rises. So there you go. We're tying it all in, baby.
Amazing.
I have to say, though, Penguin's outfit here, this is kind of like a dream outfit for me. He's got everything going on. Because I love that, he's got this cool kind of pimp coat. He's got a nice comfortable onesie. He's got a little tie there to make it look like he's, a little bit fancy. I love a top hat. He's got a top hat as well. And he's got cool boots. It's like, this is a pretty cool outfit he's got. Like, I would aspire to go for the Joker's tailoring, if I was honest. But then Joker didn't look like he's all that comfortable. Because he always had those, the bow ties and the string ties right up to his neck. And it's like, you'd see him, and we talked about it in the last movie, where he'd just be like, yep, just knocking around Axis Chemicals, looking dapper but uncomfortable. Where I can imagine you could have this outfit on anywhere and you'd look cool and you'd be really, really comfortable. So
no, I don't think there's a problem. He's not uncomfortable.
The Joker? No, I thought it looked like, well, it was, once Jack Nicholson eventually gets back to us, we can ask him if he was uncomfortable. Maybe probably like, I was baking under makeup. What the hell do you think? Of course I was uncomfortable.
His response to us is imminent. He's typing it as we speak.
I can see the 3 little dots popping up under his Twitter. But yeah, actually, this would be probably a good time to bring up one of the major influences on the aesthetic and potentially even just the script writing process of the Penguin. Because now that he's in this outfit, we could talk about the fact that he seems to be very influenced by the character of Dr. Caligari from The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is an infamous 1920s silent movie by Robert Wien, which was, I think it's sort of known to be like, it's kind of like the first true horror movie. It actually is, for a silent movie. Like, I know a lot of people now wouldn't give that the time of day. Really great movie just because of its full-blown German expressionism. And it's just really weird, warped sets and stuff, and very, very visually influencing all of Tim Burton's work, and this movie in particular. But the character of Dr. Caligari, in the movie, who's called the guy who plays him? Werner Krauss. He is a sideshow guy who comes to town with his act, and his sideshow attraction is actually secretly doing crimes, which involves murdering people in secret, which is a bit similar to what the Penguin was apparently doing with the Red Triangle Gang this whole time. But yeah, the character actually is very, very similar. It's definitely influenced this version of the Penguin, because he wears similar kind of coat, always has the big, long top hat, limps around with a cane, whereas the Penguin has an umbrella, and he has the, very long, sharp nose and this sort of jowly kind of, not even jowly, but sort of that kind of face and the furrowed brow and stuff. And if you look at shots of him and Danny DeVito, you can see he's obviously been informed of the influence, and he's sort of channeling a little bit of that character through.
I can see that.
Yeah, so... and also, also note, because I thought that Cabinet Dr. Caligari, for all the, the fact it's a big old classic movie, not really been remade. You think they would have tried to do it a bunch of times, but they haven't really touched it, because it's public domain and everything.
Don't give them ideas.
But the thing is, though, they did apparently do some version of a remake, very cheap remake in 2005, that starred Doug Jones. And of course, Doug Jones is in this friggin' movie. He's one of the Penguin's clowns. So there you go. And also should mention, because in the plotline of Caligari, the whole thing is that he's come to town with a somnambulist, which is like it's a weird plotline. It's a weird sideshow attraction. It's like, this man who's been asleep for years, he will wake and tell you your future. And people come up and they're like, oh, the sleepwalker will wake up, and they're like, oh, when am I going to die? And he'll just go, at dawn tomorrow, and then he'll literally sneak into the house and kill the guy. that's the plot. But that character, played by an actor, Conrad Veidt, who people who just know in general, or who are eagle-eyed listeners to this show, might remember. Conrad Veidt was also The Man Who Laughs, which was, of course, the movie that inspired the creation of the Joker. So there you go.
I believe that came up last season with last week's guest, Kit Flemons, didn't it?
I think it was Gaz actually brought that up. I think he had a whole...
Oh, wait, no, both of them did.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I would also say my personal thought on it was, I don't know if you guys have ever read the book Geek Love by Catherine Dunn.
Oh,
by any
no,
chance. No. It's a pretty good book. I'm surprised Tim Burton hasn't made a movie out of it, actually, because and it was published in '89, but apparently the chapters of it were published in magazines throughout the '80s. So it's a good chance Tim Burton would have seen it. But the basic plot line of it is that you have a family who was running a freak show back in like the 30s, and the mother is exposing herself to radiation and stuff, so deliberately that the children will be deformed, because this is how you make money in the circus and stuff.
Oh, that's so messed up.
And they have one of their sons is Arturo, who is got flippers for hands and feet, and he becomes Aqua Boy. And his whole thing is that he's actually like a complete. It soon become apparent that Arturo is very, very nefarious, because he starts a cult within the circus where he's encouraging people to like chop off their own limbs and stuff so they can be more like him. And it's a very weird, very, very disturbing book, but it's very, very good as well at the same time. But there's a lot of that sort of like an Aqua Boy who has a kind of stranglehold on this circus, and he's getting people to do loads of illegal stuff. And he's called the Aqua Boy, like, the strange aquatic bird boy from like the Penguin here.
I love it.
Yeah. Plus, too, I guess like Arturo will be kind of referencing the irresistible rise of Arturo Ui, the Bertolt Brecht play, which is all about the rise of fascism in Germany, and then all that Weimar film stuff ties back into the cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So
I was going to say, very much the same. And Tim Burton would love all that.
Yeah, again, Geek Love, stunned that Tim Burton's not made that into a movie. That's so up his alley. That really, maybe he tried, and he's just like, I don't know, because it sprawls like decades, the story and stuff. So maybe he just like, or maybe he's never read it. I couldn't possibly say.
Stop giving him more ideas.
Yeah, if he made that, I'd be more up for that than I'm remaking Dumbo. Like so,
he'd ruin it. He'd get ruined.
Well, you never know. He could surprise you. but yeah, because again, we just have the Penguin approaching the grave here. That's kind of all the action really for the minute that we have. That's not the most exciting. Not the most exciting way to end your Wednesday, I think.
Well, it's been fun. It's been good. We've touched on some top-notch topics. I believe we've made it work.
Yeah. Johnny, do you have anything else about this particular minutes you wanted to bring up, or?
No, not really.
Oh, around this time of the week, we'd always ask the guests if they have any like a particular history with the movie, or like, do you have like fun? Did you grow up with this film, or was it not really?
So, fun fact: this movie was released 7 days before I was born.
Oh, nice.
So, I didn't watch it till much later in life because I think I would have like had nightmares, and I still have problems with some parts of it.
Oh, really?
That means it's working.
Right. He's doing his job.
Yeah.
So my dad always loved movies. He was the movie buff in the family. And so anytime that something would come out on release for like TV or whatever, we would always watch it. So I remember watching like Batman Returns, Batman and Robin, and like everything like that. But I guess I'd suppressed how like creepy Danny DeVito's Penguin was to me, because Mark and I, Mark does the DC Cinematic Minute. We watched it like recently, and I just there were like parts that I just was like, I'm gonna like go get a snack or like turn away for a second. I'm gonna go pee, because like when he's eating like the raw fish, we talked about it yesterday too. It was like, I'm about to be on this thing, and I keep reliving that scene in my head of like he's just like ripping like flesh off this fish, and I'm like,
That's the best scene.
Is so disgusting.
That's my favorite part.
It really puts him into character for sure, but it's just like, oh, it's so gross. And then the you mentioned it earlier with like things like just the ooze like coming out of his mouth and stuff, and I'm like,
That's it must. Yeah, it was. It's so strange that people like bring up complaints about that, because that stuff never fazed me as a kid. I know they have newspaper articles complaining about like, yeah, the parents thought this is, you know, particularly things like, yeah, the ooze coming out and stuff, like everything about the penguin, like this is far too scary for kids. And when I was a kid, it was like, this was fine. Like,
yeah, I was a messed up kid. I was fine with it.
I was
twisted.
never like take it out, like, because you can't take that out. It's part of the movie. It's part of the aesthetic of the whole thing. Like, it would ruin it if you did take it out. But I was just like, not my favorite. No.
Although, like what John was saying there, like you're saying, oh, you know, it scared you, and he's like, oh, he's doing his job. And I can imagine the Warner Brothers execs going, that's not his job. His job's to make a Batman movie, not a freaking horror movie.
Well, that you don't hire Tim Burton, you know, for a soft, gentle approach.
It's like you don't hire him, and you don't hire Guillermo del Toro for like any soft touch approaches.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just still waiting. So I think del Toro's, he was sniffing around Justice League Dark. I don't know if that's.
I want it so bad, because Justice League Dark is one of my favorite things.
But the thing is,
I would love it.
But because he always announces these projects and then they never come to fruition. Like he seems to announce about 20 things a year. So it's kind of like, just follow through with this one, dude. Just do this one thing.
It would be so good.
I just hope.
You never know.
I thought I was about to really diss the current DC movies there. I was like, oh crap, not in front of Johnny.
Oh no, you're fine. He does those, and I do comedy movies. So,
well, it's not necessarily. I mean, those new DC movies are fascinating. They're so fun to discuss. That's the main thing with them. Like, I don't particularly like them, but I could talk about them nonstop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, nothing else, Suicide Squad is a good topic for conversation, because there's so much to get into. But it doesn't mean any of it's good. But it means, like, there's a lot to talk about here. Again, we're going to have the same thing, though, with Batman and Robin. It's just like, literally every minute there's going to be
Batman
something.
and Robin.
There's going to be something to talk about in that movie. It's like, there's not one minute that works. It's just like, everything is wrong with this. This is great. There's so much to talk about.
Did you guys know that they did that for the riff at the Denver meetup?
Yeah, I think Crystal told us, and we were like, what? No.
It was so funny. The riff was like great, but it was watching that movie like quickly again, I was like, oh no.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll be honest. I can't wait to watch it. We have a habit, me and Niall, of watching crap movies for fun. So, we love The Room, for instance. Everyone loves The Room. We're a big fan of Neil Breen movies. If you haven't seen Neil Breen, please watch Double Down.
Double Down. Okay.
But yeah, of course, though, Johnie, thank you for joining us for these episodes, and you're of course more than welcome to come back for Batman Forever next year if you should so wish.
Yeah, I would love to.
That'll be an intriguing one too, because it does some things right and a lot of things wrong.
It's the one I'm genuinely worried about trying to round up guests for, because everyone was into these first two. Everyone wants to talk about Batman and Robin already. We've already had people talking about it, and then Batman Forever is just this red-haired stepchild of just like, well, maybe I'll pop on for that one. It's like, no, come on, it'll be fun too, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but you might get some of your most interesting content from that.
We get some of our best episodes from the credits.
Yeah.
You never know. Never know.
I'm dying to get in that friggin' Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face. This is so much to dissect there. It's like, what was he going for? What version of the character did he watch?
Well, once again, thank you for joining us. And if you would like to tell our listeners where they can find you and your excellent podcast once more.
Yeah, so you guys can find me, you can go on Facebook and do Austin Powers Minute in the search bar, and you can find our secret group, the Electric Psychedelic Pussycat Swingers Club, which, John, I saw that you joined.
Yeah, I realized I wasn't in the group.
Yeah, so come join us over there, and then you can find us on Twitter at Austin Powers Min. But please listen.
I already followed that.
This is the disturbing thing I always find out after recording is that I'll go on Facebook and John will have posted memes and stuff 10 minutes ago. And it's like, we were recording 10 minutes ago. Are you just sitting on your phone this whole time?
I am a multitasker, Niall. I can do everything. I'm playing a video game and Twitch streaming it right now. No, I'm not really.
I was like, damn, you are doing everything.
I'm a modern man. I got to do everything.
Just imagine though, secretly we were just going it sounds as if he's going to be going on about this Dr. Caligari thing for 10 minutes, so I'll just go and do some stuff.
No. I have, basically, I found out recently I was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder when I was a child and nobody told me, which explains a lot about the way my brain works. So, yeah, I need to be doing 5 things at once or I can't focus. So, yes. And I am fixated on Bat-Minute, and I am fixated on returning for Friday. If you want to speak to us in the meantime, come to the Bat-Minute Listeners Cave. Send us a tweet at Bat-Minute, or secretly hunt down our Discord channel, which has about 5 people in it because I haven't told anyone about it yet. So if you want to be that 6th person to join and talk to hardly anybody, then try and find us. I've actually made a Twitch group as well for gamers, but there's about 2 of us in that. So there you go. Try and find that if you can. And in the meantime, have fun. Enjoy your Wednesday. It's hump day, folks. Come back on Friday for... what minute is it on Friday? I've completely forgotten. It's minute 42. It's minute 42. We will have a most holy guest. See you then. Next time... Holy prop knock! As the Penguin visits folks 6 feet under, the audience witnesses a tombstone blunder. But will some genuflection and reflection set this performer mourner on a path to election? Find out next week. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.